Congratulations on reaching the end of the first week in this course on how to extract, transform, and load data in Power BI. This week, you explored how to work with basic and advanced data sources in Power BI. Let's now take a few minutes to recap what you learned this week. This summary will help you review the concepts presented previously and clear up questions you might have. You began the course by covering basic data sources. You learned that, for example, by analyzing sales data alongside supplier data, you can identify trends in customer demand. You also learned that data from different parts of an organization may come from different sources and may be stored in different ways. That's when you identified the many different data sources supported by Power BI, like flat files, relational data sources, and NoSQL databases. You also learned how to set up a flat data source. After that, you learned that local datasets provide data that is only available to a specific individual or organization and are typically stored locally. Local datasets are a good option for organizations or projects with few users that demand high security and need speed over quantity. On the other hand, shared datasets allow multiple individuals or organizations access to data and are usually stored on multiple locations or cloud-based platforms. They are suitable for large enterprises or projects that require multiple users working at the same time. Then, you had the opportunity to complete a practical exercise on how to set up an Excel data source in Power BI. After that, you covered different storage modes in Power BI. You learned that you must think carefully about the benefits and limitations of each storage mode and select the one that best suits your needs. Import mode is a great option if you are working with small to medium-sized data sets and if the data is loaded into Power BI data model. In this model, data must be refreshed manually. On the other hand, direct query mode connects directly to the data source, and queries are sent to the source in real time, so there's no need to refresh the data manually. However, this mode might impact performance. You also covered dual and hybrid modes as alternative storage modes. After you explored these different storage modes, you then learned how to configure them in Power BI. Next, you had the opportunity to apply your skills and configure storage modes in Power BI. You discovered that structured data, also known as relational data, is arranged into columns and rows. By nature, structured data is quantitative, easily searchable, sortable, and analyzed using tools like Microsoft Excel spreadsheets or relational databases, which can store large amounts of structured data. On the other hand, unstructured data does not have a predefined structure or format. Unstructured data is best used for qualitative analysis and usually resides in non-relational databases or unprocessed file formats. Some examples of this type of data are text documents, audio and video files, social media posts, and images. Semi-structured data is not as organized as structured data, and it is not stored in relational databases. This type of data uses tags for organization and hierarchy. An example of semi-structured data is video files. You then learned about connectors. Connectors are the bridges that connect Power BI to different sources. With connectors, you can import data from databases, files, Outlook, servers, SharePoint, and many other sources. You also learned that before you start importing your data, it's important to understand what your business requirements are for the data source. You then explored the two types of operations used for creating automatic workflows, triggers and actions. Triggers are used to create efficient and effective scheduled actions. For example, AdventureWorks can use triggers to automate parts of their Power BI workflow, like refreshing data and emailing reports. Next, you undertook another practical exercise. In this exercise, you implemented triggers to automate your workflow in Power BI. You then tested your understanding of the concepts that you encountered in this lesson in the knowledge check. Finally, you undertook a module quiz. This quiz tested your understanding of all concepts that you explored in this module. You should now be familiar with the fundamentals of data sources. You should be capable of extracting data from basic and advanced data sources to work with in Power BI. Great work! I look forward to guiding you through the next week's lessons, in which you'll learn about transforming data in Power BI.